Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Patrice, and today we are going to dive right into this video. So a few weeks ago I got the HTV Ron Auto Tumbler Press, the A200, and we unboxed it and we tried a few tumblers with it. Now it comes with two attachments. I will have a link listed below if you want to see that unboxing and what this machine can really do. However, today we're going to be really quick. So we did a skinny tumbler and a 20-ounce skinny tumbler, and we also pressed a 40-ounce tumbler. There's two attachments that comes with this machine, and yeah, so the 20-ounce worked beautifully, the 40-ounce worked beautifully. Now I got a question from somebody underneath that video asking whether or not it could press a 30-ounce tumbler instead of how we press the 40-ounce tumbler. So of course I had to try it out because I only tried it out with the 40-ounce tumbler, and they sent a 40-ounce tumbler with it, and then I also had some PYD Life 40-ounce sublimation tumblers that worked beautifully with it. So today we're going to be subbing a 30-ounce tumbler, not a skinny tumbler, but the one that's shaped like the 40-ounce. Okay, so let's see that. Now I should test out a skinny 30-ounce tumbler, but not in this video. All right, so let's head over to the HTV Ron A200 and see if it's going to press the 30-ounce tumbler just as beautifully as it did the other ones. Let's get started.
All right, y'all, so let's see if this is going to work. So I already printed out the image. If you want to see a detailed tutorial of how to use this machine, check out my unboxing video. I do go over everything in detail in that particular video. This video, we're just testing this tumbler out to see if it will work. Now, this is going to be the 30-ounce tumbler. I got these tumblers off of Amazon, and I'm cutting out the parts so that we can make sure that we get a nice wrap. You want to make sure you cut all of the white away from the image. I like to use scissors, but you can certainly use a paper cutter, a slicer, whatever you may have, a rotary that works best for you. All right, so now we're going to get ready to wrap this, and I'm just going to get my heat tape because we need to tape everything down. We want to make sure everything is nice and snug around the tumbler. Make sure that image is wrapped very tightly, because when it's not, that's how you will get some of your ghosting, and we don't want that. Now, we are testing out this tumbler. The attachment is for a 40-ounce tumbler, and the 40-ounce tumblers print very nicely. But we just need to test this out and see if it's going to work with the 30-ounce tumblers. Now, I'm just taping this down here. I'm not going to use much tape at the top, but I did want to make sure that this part was taped down really nicely. For the next part, I'm just making sure that the image wraps around the top part of the tumbler, and where the handle was, because I already went ahead and removed the handle. You want to make sure you remove the handle before placing it into this press. I just want to make sure that everything is nice and touching, so that image needs to be making contact with the tumbler. That's very important. And so we're going to just tape this down, and I'm going to try to avoid getting any air underneath the image. So we're going to tape down that seam part very nicely. But we're not over taping it this time, because I didn't have to use a lot of tape when I first used this tumbler press with the 40-ounce tumbler. So we're going to just see how this will work out. So this tumbler press comes with a silicone wrap that's supposed to help provide even more pressure while it's inside of the tumbler press. So we're going to just grab that and wrap that around. Now, this silicone tumbler mat is for the 40-ounce tumbler, so it is slightly bigger than what we need for the 30-ounce tumbler. I'm not sure if that's going to cause an issue, because air, it's not making contact the way that it should, but we're going to test it out. All right, and just see if this will work. Now, make sure that you place those notches upright. You want those to be at the top when you get ready to place this inside of your tumbler press. That's very important. It should not be towards the bottom of the press. All right, guys, so with this press, you want to make sure you have heat gloves, because you're going to get up close and personal with this heat press. So now we're just going to slide this inside. I am pressing these tumblers at 390 degrees Fahrenheit for 300 seconds. This time and temperature worked really well for me with the 40-ounce tumblers, so why fix something that isn't broken? All right, and we're using 100-pound pressure. Now, maybe I didn't change the pressure, and I possibly could have changed the pressure to see if that would have helped with the 30-ounce tumblers, but we'll see. We'll see in another time, maybe. All right, so everything is set. and we're just going to take it out. Remember, this is very hot. Always have your heat gloves on. That silicone wrap is super, super hot, so you definitely want to be careful when taking that out of your tumbler press. Alright guys, so I let the tumbler cool down, and now we're ready to remove the tape. So I'm just going to remove the tape. Very, very simple. Nothing major with moving the tape. I'm just showing y'all because I need this video to be, you know, a little bit longer than 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead, remove the tape, and now let's see what it looks like. Oh, y'all, this bottom part looks really good. Look at that seam. That looks amazing. I love how that came out. And, oh, we have some ghosting. It looks like there wasn't enough pressure at the top of the tumbler. So we have, yeah, we have like clout-like spots. So I don't know, maybe we need to try this again. So let me go ahead and place the handle back on, and let's see how it's going to look, because the way that the design is and how the tumbler is, I think that it still looks good. Like, this is still something that I would walk around with and use. The image, the main part of the image, looks like it adhered really nicely on the front part where the butterfly is. So I'm pretty happy with that part, but I really wish it would have been a success. But look how it looks. The color looks pretty good. It's just in that top part and where those handles are. So I'm really thinking that it has a lot to do with the pressure, that it was just not enough pressure around those parts of the tumbler. So we're definitely going to have to try this out again. So I went ahead and put the top on, and I do feel like it looks a lot better with the top on. This is something that I would be comfortable giving away. In fact, it is already given away. And when I handed it to the person, they absolutely loved it. Alright guys, let's go for round 2 and see if adding more pressure or adding another piece of silicone mat will work. Alright, so now I'm just trying to make sure that the tumbler wrap, the actual tumbler wrap, is going to fit snug around the 30-ounce tumbler. It is bigger than the 30-ounce tumbler, so I think that could also be causing part of the issue. So I'm going to get another one of the silicone mats that come with it, the 2mm silicone mat, to see if that will help us with the pressure. And so me wrapping this around, I do feel like those notches are going to cause a slight issue. So I'm just going to cut a slit in the silicone wrap so that it can lay flat around those notches. Now, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to test it out. I really want to have success with pressing 30-ounce tumblers in this tumbler press, because honestly I prefer 30-ounce tumblers. I don't really like the huge big 40-ounce tumblers, so I would love if this would work. Alright, so now I'm just going to place this inside of the heat press. I wrap that other silicone mat around as well to try to give that top part more pressure, because I do feel like the bottom of the tumbler is perfectly fine. In that press, that first press, it pressed really nicely. I didn't have any issues with it. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get this started, and then we'll see how this one turns out. Alright, always remember to use your heat gloves when using this press, because it gets super duper hot. Alright, so now that it's cooled off, let's go ahead and remove the tape. As you see, I even added more tape. I taped around that top rim all the way around to try to get, you know, get a good outcome to see if that was the issue as well. But we're just going to go ahead and remove the tape and see how this turns out. Now the bottom part of that tumbler press attachment works beautiful. Like, it works really, really well with the 30-ounce tumbler. Now let's see the top part and see how that came out. And that's, no, it did not come out exactly how we wanted it. It looks like it did not. The first tumbler pressed nicer than this one, to be honest. But I can still use it. It's still something that I would probably still give away just because of the makeup of the design and the actual tumbler. That handle will hide that area where nothing, that did not take at all, which is so funny because on the first one, more ink transferred, like it did way better. So I'm thinking that by adding that extra silicone mat, that also caused a problem for me, because maybe that area did not get any pressure that it could have. But for the most part, I'm going to stick to 40-ounce tumblers in this particular press with this attachment. because my 30 ounces did not work well at all. They did not work well.
All right, y'all. So we're all done. And how did that go? It went. So here we have our 2 tumblers that we pressed with the A200, and this was the first one. And I thought I was making improvements with the application of the image and adding more tape and all of that with this one, and I didn't. Now, this design is very forgiving on this tumbler, especially because you still have like a little bit of white here. So it doesn't look bad. This is still something that I would feel really good with giving somebody. And these tumblers are super duper nice. They kind of remind me of my Stanley tumblers. Very, very nice with this handle. And then you also have like your other part that you can drink out of. So looks very much like Stanley. But nonetheless, here are our tumblers, and it just didn't work for me. It didn't work for me with the 30-ounce tumblers. Now maybe they'll come out with another attachment for the 30-ounce tumblers, or maybe they'll come out with maybe like another silicone wrap that's, you know, that would help to give this the type of pressure that it really, really needs. I think when I added that extra layer of silicone wrap, that just threw it off even more. So, and then here I got absolutely no type of pressure. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll test it out a little bit more. But I kind of don't want to waste my other 30-ounce tumblers. I kind of feel like I can just go ahead and shove those in my sublimation oven and get a great result and be happy with it. So this is what we have with the 30-ounce tumblers. So it looks like the 40-ounce works best. If you've tried the 30-ounce tumblers, please let me know how it worked for you. I will try to press a 30-ounce skinny tumbler and see, you know, how that will go with the other attachment. But for the most part, this is what we got with that 40-ounce tumbler attachment that comes with it. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join the Craftable Things communities there as well. That's it for today, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.